Happy ninth birthday, Liberland. It is incredible to reflect over the past 9 years how far we have come as a country. And then if you're just discovering Liberland for the first time, buckle up. It's a lot of fun. I was taking a few notes here before this pop-up episode. We're not going to go too long here today. And by the way, hello, my name is Adam Carswell, Adam J. Carswell, the host of the Liberland Show. Been doing this show since 2018. Feels like even longer, but it's also crazy. It's crazy to think 2018 was 6 years ago. I remember hosting the Liberland. I've emceed several Liberland events, but I remember really being involved with the fifth anniversary and how big of a deal that was, especially in the middle of COVID. Look how far we've come. I think pretty much nobody takes COVID seriously anymore, which is great. And if you do, well, whatever, live and let live, right? I know most of us here don't, though. Cool to see that this came to fruition, right? I got my Liberland passport, got my e-residency. And really the most important thing with Liberland is just the connections that have come from this community. Just to speak to those who come to mind personally. I jotted, and just for the record, if I don't drop your name here, I just jotted down the first like 10 names that came to my mind. And by the way, someone who I know I didn't write your name down, but I'm thinking of you now is Thomas, and I'm gonna forget how to say your last name, but you're always reposting the Liberland show and everything. I really appreciate it. Same goes to my buddy Keaton Brumley as well, who's really helped a lot with the show, getting it onto like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Keaton, I got to connect with you soon because I got to make sure that we've been keeping up with that. But either way, huge help. Other people, special mention, Peter Kavina, Vit, obviously President Yelichka, Bogey Wozniak, Tom Walsh, Tariq Abbasi, all the whole gang, Naveed, our Minister of Finance. We go way back to Anarchapulco 2020. It's just amazing how far we've come as a country in such a short amount of time. I want to do a special shout out to Drew Binsky. If you end up seeing this, man, it was really cool to hang out with you at Floating Man a few years ago. Nico Omilana, the YouTuber that did a video that I think pretty much gave the green light to start colonizing Liberland. If you don't know who he is, I would just type in, look him up. Nico Omilana. I think I'm saying his name right. Liberland. That was a great video. Cam Ivan, Nadir Price, Gregor Kochar, Michael Potachnik, Joey Langenbrunner, Shafiq, Samuela, Nicholas, my buddy from Argentina, and many, many more. It's just been really cool to see the network that has come from this. And there's some very serious connections and projects and people that I've been introduced to, like maybe not even directly through Liberland, but just through the connections of Liberland. It's probably, I guess I am still technically a Rotarian, but I would say Liberland is the Rotary Club on steroids. Plus, most people here actually see the world that we do from like a freedom perspective. I shared my life philosophy with someone today, which is um, I got from Rick Mayberry, if anyone knows who Rick Mayberry is, but it's do all you have agreed to do and don't encroach on other persons or their property. Right? Do all you have agreed to do and don't encroach on other persons or their property. I think that's a pretty solid, there is no, well, I'm sure that actually, there probably is like an official statement on liberland.org on like what libertarianism is or, the principles of the country. But I think if you had to boil it all down to 17 magic words, there you go. I'll make sure I said that right. I got it here on my wall. Hold on. Yeah, do all you have agreed to do and do not encroach on other persons or their property. There you go. That's the magic 17 words from Rick Mayberry, who I happen to meet through Liberland indirectly. So several other cool things. If you're not familiar with ANCAP Radio, by the way, check out ancapradio.com. That's another project that ultimately began because of Liberland. Going to keep the podcast going here until we can't no more, right? Like I've always loved doing this show. And I see no reason to stop. Looking back on it, I remember there was days, times where I was just cranking, and you can go see, like I was cranking out Liberland show episodes. Lately, we've kind of toned it back to like, maybe one or two a month. I like it that way because it's not as stressful as like having to do one every week. But again, just want to tip our hats to Liberland. By the way, I should have said this at the beginning. Blockchain.liberland.org. If you're an e-resident or a citizen, you can claim merits like today. Today's you have to set your, I believe this is going live on the anniversary, April 13th. So it might be too late, depending on when you see this. Blockchain.liberland.org though to get set up with your wallet for Liberland dollars and Liberland merits. If you're interested in becoming a Liberland citizen, I'll drop my email below. I am helping with citizenship now. So got questions or looking to become a citizen, again, as of this video, it's $10,000 to become 10,000 US dollars to become a Liberland citizen. I would anticipate as the country continues to grow, that will, that will change. So get in while the getting's good. And again, the purpose of this episode is really just to give a round of applause to everyone who's involved with Liberland, the colonization of Liberland that took place this year. President Yedlichka, your fearless pursuit of just pushing forward after all of the roadblocks that you've been challenged with over the years, and for someone like me and many others to reap even just the benefits of the ripple effects of your work here at Liberland is totally worth it. And even if this all were to amount to nothing tomorrow and it was all over, it would still 120 million thousand percent be worth it. But thankfully, it's going to keep going. And that's the last thing I'll leave it with here, because I think a lot of people like to kind of joke around and say, oh, it's a startup country, you don't know what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. Just from a high level, right? Like there's always going to be haters. But I always like to look at this. Like, can anybody point out a startup country from within the past 200 years that is like a good business model to follow to launch a new country? I think a lot of what we're doing here at Liberland is trial and error and just putting our best foot forward, because there is no blueprint to building a country in 2024. And if there is one, watch and learn, right? So that's just a little sass to end this episode. I really love you guys. Those who watch the show and have been longtime listeners of the show and the YouTube channel, I really appreciate your listenership. When I went to Floating Man a few years ago, it was cool to show up somewhere and like have people who knew me from here to like say hi and stuff. I mean, I don't know. I guess I've had that happen a little bit in life, but it was very pronounced. And I look forward to getting back to. Unfortunately, I can't make it to the anniversary this year. It's part of the reason why I'm doing this episode. I have a 4-week-old and a 18-month-old and a beautiful wife to help raise our kids with. So, anyways, once the kids can kind of be a little bit more independent, we'll be back out there in the Balkans. Floating Man as well. So the first time I ever got to DJ a live set as my DJ name, General Moses. Look me up on Spotify and Instagram, General Moses. On Instagram, it's at General Moses 9, by the way. But that was cool to do my first ever live set at Floating Man, and I look forward to performing at future Liberland events as well. So again, blockchain.liberland.org for Liberland dollars, Liberland merits. If you're interested in becoming a citizen, getting one of these, get a Liberland passport, you can hit me up. All the information is going to be below. And again, happy birthday, Liberland. Happy 9th anniversary. One more to the next big one, right? Decade. Already looking forward to next year. But let's celebrate in the moment. You guys rock. I hope to see you at Floating Man too. I should say. I mean, I don't know. I'm probably not gonna make it this year, but just to throw it out there, we'll do a quick little marketing plug for Floating Man. It is floatingman.ll.land is the website for Floating Man. But yeah, happy birthday, Liberland. This is the Liberland Show. We'll catch you in the next episode. And remember, in all you think, say, and do, take it to the next level.